All right, guys, diet 101. Here we go. Um, how do we want to break this down? So, to figure out your macronutrients, which are your proteins, your carbs, your fats, first thing you got to figure out is what's your lean body weight. For most people, your lean body weight is going to be that weight where you have a six pack, right? So, maybe it's your summer goal beach body weight, whatever that may be. A more accurate way is to get a body fat test, which a lot of gyms offer that, doctor's offices, whatnot. So that's what I'd recommend. Me, myself, I'm about 240 pounds to 245 pounds. I kind of fluctuate in there. Um, I'm about 15% body fat, which is a little on the high end for me. I like to be around 12, somewhere around there, but I'm not worried about it. I can go up and down pretty easily. So, reason I mention that is if 15% body fat, about 240 pounds, that means I can lose about 20 pounds of fat. If I lost about 20 pounds of fat, I'd be ripped. All right, I'd look pretty awesome. So, it's a good goal, but whatever. I may do it, I may not. Depends how lazy and motivated I am. So, the reason that's a good number to know for me at 220 is that's going to be the basis of everything I go off of. Okay? So let's start with protein. Well, there's a range for protein. Anywhere from 1 to 1.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight. All right? So protein's awesome, but I get a little tired of eating it all day, every day. So I go with the low end of protein. So I'm going to say 1 gram. So obviously 220 pound man, well, I'm 240, but 220 pounds of lean mass. That's 1 gram of protein per pound. So 220 grams of protein. Very simple. That is my number. I got to hit every day. I'm going to spread that over however many meals, 4 or 5 meals. Okay? All right, next macronutrient, fat. Here's the way you figure out your fat number. You take that number, for me example, for 220 times anywhere from 0.3 to 0.4 is perfect. I like to be a little on the high end of fat because, fat is good for your libido, sex hormones, brain function, whatnot. So 220 times 0.4 is 88. I usually get about 80 grams of fat, so right in that perfect range. And there you go. Okay, so your protein and your fat, I'm gonna hit those numbers all day, every day. Those don't change. Okay. Now, if I end up gaining, say, 15, 20 pounds of muscle, then yeah, my numbers are going to go up accordingly, obviously. Okay. But as long as my lean body mass is at 220, those are my numbers. Carbohydrates, the best way about thinking about carbohydrates is take your protein amount. You want about the same number for carbohydrates. Now this is gonna help me lose a little bit of body fat. Okay, so if I'm anywhere from 220 to 240 on the protein, I'm about 220, 240 on the carbohydrates. Now, you notice I haven't talked about overall calories because you don't need to. Your overall calories are going to fall into place if you stick to this macronutrient profile, okay? These are these calculations and numbers I'm giving you. It's going to fall in place perfectly. Now, my carbohydrates is the only energy source that I can play with. Meaning, if I want to gain muscle mass or overall weight, or I want to get stronger, I'm boosting my carbs up. I might boost them to 300-400. If I want to drop weight, I'm going to keep them around 240, 200, somewhere in there. I'll really never get below that, because if I do get below that 200 to 220 grams of carbs, for me, someone like my size, I'm not doing enough cardio, which means I need to do cardio. That's kind of how you know that. So don't ever go below 1 gram per pound of body weight on the carbs. No, you don't need to, okay? Unless you're going to be competing in a bodybuilding contest on stage, but that doesn't apply to 99% of people watching this channel. All right, so there you go, man. 220 pound lean mass. That's 220 pounds to 220 grams to 240 grams of protein and carbs, about the same 1-to-1 ratio. My fat grams, I already said, 220 times 0.4, 88, somewhere in that 75 to 85 range is just fine. Doesn't have to be the exact number, just a slight range. And that's it. All right. That is how you figure out your macronutrients. Now in the next video, I'm going to explain what that looks like in actual food and how to kind of structure that in a meal plan. But this macronutrient breakdown, I thought it's very important, and it might sound simple, but it took me forever to kind of figure out that was optimal. I was all over the board until I kind of figured that out. So there you go. Memorize that. It's gonna save you a lot of grief in the future if you're trying to get in shape. All right.